Hello again. The Airthings Masters is going on. It's an online rapid tournament for elite players, but there's also a qualifier, which even I can participate. I think starting next Monday. I mean, not actually Airthings Masters, but part of the cycle. So that's gonna be interesting. Usually, my level of players haven't had the chance to play rapid games against title players. So I'm kind of excited about that. Um, yeah, I found some sacrifices using chess-based feature. Still had to do a lot of manual work. So I even then, uh, yeah, I couldn't go through all the games. There was just too many games to look at, and too many sacrifices, and some of them very boring. It shows some that were kind of interesting, or it's stuff that you should know, like this one. Very typical sacrifice. How do you promote these pawns with a little tactic? You just take a pawn, and you should know the basic rule that if you have two pawns on the sixth ranked that are next to each other, they will promote even if the opponent has a rook. He can't stop them. And yeah, there's nothing black can do. One of them will promote. For example, here, just promote. Easy game. Next position. And yeah, you can always pause the video if you want to solve these problems. If not, just listen. Here, it's simple tactic, basically based on that the knight is kind of loose, only the queen is defending. So we take on g2. If queen takes, we just take the knight. If king takes, we have to choose the right check. Where do we choose? Here. Attack the king and the knight, and black wins a pawn, and the bishop is gonna be super strong on this diagonal. Next position. This is more interesting. Quite a bit more complicated. The knight is hanging, the bishop is hanging. Naturally, you would move one of those pieces, but in the game, Sergei found a strong move. Rook h2, sacrificing the rook. In the game, white just took, and I'm guessing he just blundered his queen, or maybe he thought he would somehow be able to promote the pawn, but that's just not gonna happen. Rook g8 will happen, and black will actually checkmate white very soon. Computer says it's some kind of a draw with some very accurate play from white. Just d takes c7, not worrying about rook takes g2. And because of rook d8, black cannot take the queen. Instead, he has to take here. And somehow, yeah, this is some kind of perpetual along these diagonals. This is not so easy to understand, but the move rook h2 itself is not. It's not that complicated to find. And if also white takes the queen, then we have this in-between check. and then we take the queen. This is the key idea. On to the next position. Here, Tupov made a very typical mistake. He of course wants to promote the pawns, but he has to be careful. And I'm sure he has seen the next pattern a million times. So I'm kind of surprised that such a strong player like him missed the basic idea. Check and just block. I mean not block, but attack the rook and threaten to promote. So instead black would have just played king g3 and easily won the game like this. So now the game is a draw, and objectively the best move is to just take the rook, promote the queen, and then play the queen endgame up a pawn. White has a lot of checks, and Daniel thought the best chances are with another rook sacrifice. And now, White has two ways of stopping the pawn. Only one of them draws. And which one do you choose? Well, the right one is, of course, the basic rule. You go behind the pawn. This one draws quite easily. For example, like this. If black promotes, we just take and king e5. And if f4, and we just wait. And there's nothing black can do. Just a draw. For example, like this. We take, and it's pinned, so black cannot promote. But instead, in the game, white chose wrongly. He went down, and now you see the idea. The king can go to the g file and push the f pawn, and black just wins. The pawns just promote, and that's it. A lot of blunders in this endgame. Even grandmasters make very simple mistakes in time trouble. Next one. So white is completely winning basically because of the h pawn. It's too strong. But I like the execution here. It's kind of like a positional way of winning the game. And it's rook d5. And the idea is that we're just gonna play knight f6. Knight f6, protect the pawn, and threaten knight g8 to promote the pawn. Black has to play like queen h8, and then it's just gonna be too weak. I mean too passive there, and then f7 is weak, and white will win easily. For example, in the game, f7 drop 2, and now the e pawn will also just promote very easily. So yeah, I kind of like this positional idea, and also tactical. Rook takes d5, and then knight f6. Very nice. Next one. Between Dmitry Andreikin and Aryun Erikaisi. Here's a little tactical shot. from Arjun. Rook takes e5. So many rook sacrifices. It seems like this is kind of like a blind spot for many players. Sacrificing the rook. And white didn't take the rook. But if he took, we would take it with the knight, attack the queen, and threaten checkmate here. And because white didn't take the rook, then we just won a pawn, and then e3 is weak. And Arjun went on to win the game quite quickly. The last example. So here, what do you sacrifice? You already know. Something has to be sacrificed, but what? You have to be careful here. You have to be careful. And the right answer is rook takes. Once again, you sacrifice the rook. And now you sacrifice the queen. Black resigned because if black takes, it's gonna be checkmate. And king g8, queen g7. This check does nothing. We can play rook f1 or king g2. And you have, like I said, like you have to be careful here. Queen h6 is like so tempting, but actually it doesn't work. We need to get rid of this rook on g4 to be able to play this rook h4. Double checkmate. It's kind of funny, like this rook is just doing nothing. It's just a hindrance. Like you could check, but king escapes to g5. You can check, but king takes on f6, and then the king just escapes. So that's why we first sack the rook and then the queen. So yeah, nice stylish finish from Nudirbek. So yeah, that's it for now. See you later. Bye bye.